What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel for some more RC fun. Back out in the garage again for a follow-up to the last video I just did on this MT12 Plus bumper replacement. If y'all haven't seen that, I'm gonna leave a link up above. It's pretty useful info if you happen to have one of these or plan to get one. The bumper's got kind of a little bit of a drama going on as far as which one you need, and I'll show you which one you need and what's going on in that last video. So I'll leave that link up above if you're interested. But for this one here, we're gonna be doing a few upgrades on it, and then I'm gonna take it out and hit that skate park I found recently and put it to the test. Now, these upgrades, I guess you could say, are mostly just for looks. They're anodized aluminum parts, you know, and those mostly, they do give you some good looks, but they kind of stiffen everything up. So they're not just looks, they do provide some stiffness and obviously some strength over the plastic parts. But what I've got here is basically a whole entire kit from ST Racing Concepts for this MT12, all of the aluminum parts they offer. Now, if y'all watch my unboxing video on this, you know I already actually picked up their aluminum shock body kit. It's got the body and the ring and the two caps, the top and the bottom cap, because when I ordered this, because I knew it had plastic shocks, and even though they're threaded, they're plastic, and I just wanted to add a little bling to it. But I bought those on sale. I think they were like 13 bucks for that shock set. I actually found this seller on eBay that looks to be like a closeout outlet or overstock store for ST Racing here, and they offer this entire kit for $19.99. Both of the aluminum diff covers, both of the aluminum axle tubes for the rear, both of your aluminum front steering knuckles, and the entire shock kit. It's got the body with the threaded rings for the spring preload and your two caps, and it's already got the bottom caps on it. So it's got these that I paid $12.99 for, plus all of this for $19.99. You can't even come close to getting all of this separately from just a regular retailer for that price, even if it's all on sale. So this is a heck of a deal. If y'all happen to have one of these, I'll definitely leave a link down below if you're interested. They've got the red, the blue, and the black color. So this should be really interesting since I've never taken this apart. First thing I'm going to do is just separate the front and back half. I'll just separate the links so we'll have both to work with. Obviously, I'll have to take the shock loose at the top because I've got to replace everything. You know, the diff cover here, that's 4 screws on the back, but you got to get to it. And then it'll be these steering knuckles right here. And then on the back, it's both of these entire axle tubes and the diff cover. So I'll take the front and back chunk off and then we'll go from there. All right, just a quick update here. So far, everything's been pretty straightforward. Just took the links off. As you can see, here's your front section. I had to take the links apart, and then the top shock screws, like I said. So if you look under here, one of the sets of links went here, one there, and then the others you just pop off of these studs here, these swivel studs. You don't take the screw out because it's just going to free spin. So just pop them off the studs there, and then same thing in the rear, of course, 2 of them there, and then the 2 studs there, and then of course, you know, the shocks came out right there. So I think we'll go one entire section at a time, because once I show you this right here as far as the shock and the link, it's going to be the same for the other side, so I won't have to repeat that. This will be different, and then the steering knuckles will be different on the front. So first thing you're going to want to do here is take out this screw and that little aircraft nut there on the other side that holds your link and the bottom shock in there. Now from this point on, it's pretty much a mystery to me also, but obviously we're gonna have to take these 4 screws here to get our diff cover off there, and then 2 screws on each of these axle tubes. So let's see what's going on up under here first. All right, I'm guessing this should just pull right off now. If I can do it without slinging, yeah, there we go, without slinging the axle all the way across the room. All right, so just like a basic axle there, this just holds it in, I'm guessing, and then you probably got the bearings in there on the other side. Yeah, you got a bearing down there in that axle tube. All right, next let's go ahead and get this diff cover off and see what this diff is looking like. And it should just pop off from there once we get those 4 screws out, and yeah, it's just gonna pop right on off there. So do have some grease in there. Bunch of thick grease in there for sure. And then of course from there, as you know, if you needed to take the diff out, it should just pull right on out. Yeah, it just pulls right on out. Be careful not to let your bearings fall out. Now, if this were any length of time, I'd replace these bearings while I was in here, but as y'all know, this is a brand new truck. I will re-grease this. And I guess the responsible thing to do here is to pull the diff open and just make sure we got plenty of diff fluid in there, diff oil. And I guess I'll do that. And I'm also glad to see that this ring and pinion, the ring especially, it is metal, because that was supposed to be one of the upgrades on this MT12 Plus, and sure enough it is, because I ordered an extra diff set just in case when I got the truck, and as you can see, the regular MT12 is plastic. So to open up this diff, obviously all you got to do is take those 4 screws right there out, so I'm going to do that right quick and show you inside. All right, just a quick look inside here for those y'all interested in this kind of stuff. You can see your spider gears down in there. Now they just got some heavy grease in here, it looks like. I was going to actually top it off with some 10,000 weight diff fluid, but it's kind of tough. I think I'm still going to put one little dab. Usually you want to kind of get this stuff about even with the crossbar, but I can barely even see the crossbar. That's probably good, but better safe than sorry. I'm gonna call that good right there and then button it back up. So from there, it's just putting everything back together. I've got a couple of the axle tubes there. These things look super, super nice. And then I've got the diff cover. So assembly is basically just a reverse of how we put it together. I'm gonna use some just good old white lithium grease inside my diff here just because basically it's easy. All right, y'all, check that right there out. That's sharp. I mean, that is super sharp right there, buddy. This stuff is nice. So as far as these axle shafts here, or axle tubes, I guess you could call them. Now, of course, make sure you slide your bearing back down there in the end. Super easy. They fit super, super nice. And then you just slide these things back in. Now, you're going to have to line them up because they're kind of notched. So just make sure you get your screw holes in the right direction, and these things should just slide right over, I'm assuming. Yep, sure enough, boom, right there. Slide right over, locks on, no problem at all. Now, I wouldn't put any Loctite on these because you're still going into plastic. This tube, of course, is aluminum, but your housing's still plastic, so no need for Loctite. I did put Loctite on these, though, because the screw ends, of course, are going into the aluminum. So let me slide this other one on here real quick. All right, y'all, look at this thing right here. Come on now. I mean, just come on now. That's sharp, buddy. That right there is super, super sharp. That whole black and red mix right there, I mean, that's just super, super sharp and mean looking. So I think from here, I'm gonna actually stop on the rear because the only thing left are the shocks and the links, putting the links back on. And these shocks are gonna be a whole process by itself. So I'm gonna save all 4 of those. We'll move to the front here. Now, the first thing I've got to do here is the same as far as taking these shocks and links off. So I'll take that off. Again, it's the screw and the aircraft nut, same deal. And then on the front here, as far as the steering knuckles, I need to get this steering linkage set up out of here. So again, on each one of those steering knuckles, you can see you got a screw with an aircraft nut on the bottom. So I'll take both of those out. That'll get out of the way, and then I'll take these off, and then we'll come back. So now, of course, to get your steering knuckles off, it's just a matter of 2 screws, one on the top and bottom on each side. And then once those are out, this axle should just slide right out, I'm guessing. Yeah, you don't have to take this axle tube off at all. It's really a shame they don't make this front axle tube piece in aluminum, or I would have got that too. And then once you get them off, you're just going to slide your axle shaft right out of there, and then you've got 2 bearings, one on this side and one on that side. Of course, you've got to transfer those over to the aluminum one. All right, just as simple as that. I put the bearings in each side and just slide the axles back in. I will have to say, so far, the tolerances on all of this stuff has been very, very nice. Super, super nice fit on everything. And then as far as the diff on the front, it's just like the back. 4 screws here, it pulls off. The diff looks exactly the same. So I'm going to do that off camera. I am going to go ahead and service the diff since I've got it out here anyway. I'll give y'all a look inside just to show y'all what it looks like compared to the other one. All right, here's your look inside the front diff. Looks pretty much the same. Again, just some heavy grease in there. It could probably use some oil, so I'm going to put a couple drops like I did. This is just off the brand, 10,000 weight. I don't think I mentioned. It doesn't matter to me what brand. This is just what I had on hand used already. So we'll put 1 drop there and 1 more drop. So 2 good sized little drops just to be safe. Now, one other thing I will mention right quick as far as oiling up this diff or just topping it off like this, if I was actually really concerned about tuning this diff for a certain way to act, I would definitely clean that grease out first. So, you know, you don't really know what you're working with. It's hard to tune if you're mixing stuff. But in this case, just being what this is, this monster truck, I'm not really concerned. I just want to make sure it's got enough enough grease or oil or something in there. All right, y'all, I got it all back together. And once again, I mean, what can you say? Look at that stuff. That's super, super sharp looking. I mean, I just think that's really, really cool. So the last thing on the agenda is to get these shocks converted over. That's a little bit of a process, so I'm gonna clear everything out and show y'all what's going on. All right, let's get these shocks taken care of, y'all. Obviously, I've got 4 to do, but I'm just gonna do 1 on camera just for the guys from my main channel mostly, or anybody who hadn't seen this before, is new to RC maybe. Now, what we're replacing obviously is everything to do with the shock body itself. So it's gonna be the cap, the threaded body, your threaded adjuster here, and the bottom cap. So you're going to keep from the existing shock, or from this shock I should say, your shock shaft, your bump stop, your spring, of course, your spring perch, and then your rod end or shaft end here with the swivel. So it's actually a very simple process to get it apart. You're just going to pull up on your spring there and then push up on that bottom spring perch, and it's got a slot, as you can see there on one end. It just comes off of the shaft. When you put it back on, you see how it rests over the stop down there. And then once you let loose, your spring comes right off like that, and then you're just left with the shock itself. And then after that, I usually go ahead and take the shaft end off. So in this case, you'll pull that bump stop up a little bit. Now, sometimes you can turn them by hand, but not many. Now, some people are funny about grabbing their shock shaft down here with a set of pliers, but just get it as close to the end as you can, and just grab it just enough where you can start to spin this thing off. And you'll see you don't have to really squeeze the fool out of it like you're gonna really mar it up or deform it or anything. But if you are worried, you can always get some smooth jaw pliers or put something around the jaws of your pliers so you don't mark anything up. So then just pull your bump stop off. Again, you're gonna need to save that, and then you can just screw the top cap off there. Well, this one's on tight. There you go. It was on a little tight. Now you should have a O-ring and a bladder. Well, maybe not. Yeah, there's your bladder. Stayed on the shock, just a bladder, no O-ring, so that's good. And now at this point, really, you can just dump that old shock fluid out. You can see it. I'm not sure what weight this was, and then in this case, just go ahead and push the shaft on through there. You might want to go ahead and loosen this bottom cap, because there should be an O-ring under here too, and you don't want it to be so tight where those shaft threads mar it up. So here you see, once you take this bottom cap off, you're actually going to have a plastic seal. I forgot about that. So you have a little plastic seal, and you've got a little O-ring in there. Just take your little pick or something and get that out. Try not to goof it up. Again, that's why it's probably a good idea to loosen this bottom cap so you don't have pressure and you're not scraping on that O-ring with the threads. And then actually on these, you've actually got another metal washer down there after that, so just pull it out also. So then of course we're going to turn around and put those parts in the bodies here. So start out with the shock body, go ahead and put that metal washer in there, just drop it right in. Take your little O-ring next and put it down in there. Then we've got the little plastic seal there, just kind of set it on it. And then take your bottom cap and just put it on there loose. Don't tighten it up till you put pressure on that washer or that O-ring, but you'll kind of feel it there. I just felt a little bit of pressure. Then of course you're going to put your shock shaft with the piston back in there. Now if you were to have to take this apart, I'll give you a quick look there. You can see this is a two-hole shock piston. You've got E-clips on the top and bottom, E-clips or C-clips one, but in this case we didn't have to disassemble that, so just put it back down in there. Be easy again so you don't gouge up that O-ring with the threads, and pull it on in there. Then once you've got that all the way in there, you can tighten up that bottom cap. From there, go ahead and slide your little bump stop back on there, and then you can go ahead and replace the shaft end. All right, next we can go ahead and fill this thing with oil. I'm gonna go with 35 weight on this. And, you know, it's up to you. You kind of got to get a feel of it. Eventually you'll be able to tell what you like for what circumstance. For what I'm going to be doing this with, monster truck stuff, I think 35 should be a good spot. So really, I just start filling it up and trying to get it about 3/4. Basically, all you're trying to do is just get the air out of the shock body. It might take some up and down movement. If you're not in a hurry, what you can do is just fill it up and put it in some kind of stand, or just make you some kind of little stand out of cardboard and just let it sit there for a while and let the air bleed out. But I'm thinking pretty decent right here. Then what you want to do is allow yourself just a little bit of room for that bladder to kind of push some of the oil out. So I'm going to put just a tiny bit more in here. Obviously it's better to put too much than not enough, because it'll always just push too much out. But just put some in there, and you can see it was already kind of mushing out. So that's almost perfect right there. And then what you want to do is just put your top back on there, and don't tighten it all the way down yet, of course. But just kind of put it on there to where you start feeling a little bit of resistance maybe. So I've got a little bit of resistance, and then basically you just kind of want to slowly just push this thing out and make sure any remaining air, it's going to push a little bit of fluid. If you feel too much resistance, loosen it on up and just keep pushing it up until the air, and like I say, you're going to get a little bit of fluid to come out, but that's okay. Loosen it if you got to, and then tighten it back down. So then once you get that all tightened down, you'll be able to feel if you've got it right or not. It'll be super springy if it's got a lot of air in there or you get a lot of resistance. And then from there, you just take your nice little adjusting collar here. It's got an O-ring in it so it doesn't adjust itself, and just thread it up onto the shock body. Then you take and slide your spring up on there. You're gonna have to hold it up a little bit, take the pressure off of it. Take your spring perch. Again, you've got a slot there. Go up above the stop here. And I think there's just one way for this. Yeah. Put it down there, let the spring go, and boom, there you are, ready to roll. Super nice looking red anodized shock body. All right, there we go. All 4 of them done and looking incredibly nice. This red aluminum with all this black just looks super, super nice. So only one thing left to do, and that's get everything back together. It goes back together the same easy way it came apart. So I'm gonna do all that and show you all the finished product. All right, y'all, check this thing out. It's really hard to get the full effect without being in person, but that thing is absolutely sick. I mean, that whole red and black combo, that thing just looks sinister. Look at the back. I mean, the rear view is just incredibly cool looking. All of that red aluminum, the red shocks, that right there is very, very cool. Even with the body on as high as it sits, you can still see all of that stuff. I think that thing just looks very, very cool. Look at that. I mean, look at that rear end view. That right there is wicked, y'all. But that's enough talking about how cool it looks. Let's take this thing over to that skate park and see how I can handle that. All right, we're headed down here to the skate park. It's actually pretty doggone cloudy and dreary looking out here. I've seen a couple little sprinkles, not really calling for much rain, maybe a little sprinkle somewhere, but not much anything that I saw. So hopefully we can stay dry out here. All right, y'all, looks like right now we got the whole place to ourselves. Good news. Bad news is we are getting some sprinkles for sure. And I'm rolling the thing over already. That's more bad news. Might do us a little good to get some rain out here. Slick up this cement a little bit, because I definitely cannot take sharp turns. I don't know what that was, but it sure wasn't a backflip. I was hoping I could do some backflips on this real steep one. I probably could. Oh, I almost did right there. Let's make a few more jumps and stuff before we try that anymore. I'm gonna get that before the day's over with. I don't wanna tear everything up before we can do a few more jumps out here. Whew, yeah, this thing is just, the traction roll is unreal right here. Yeah, this is fun out here. I mean, this truck right here isn't anything super fast, as y'all know, but this is really fun. I mean, super fun out here. I can't wait to get some really fast stuff going out here. I was kind of worried that this thing might not have enough traction, but it's got plenty of traction. Get up here and see if I can drop in. And, oh no, well, hey, I'll take that. It wasn't a wipeout, so I'll take it. We could probably, yeah, we could do some spin outs on this metal, on these steel ramps. I don't know if we can even make it up the other side of that half pipe. Let's see what happens here. Oh yeah, what am I thinking? Plenty, no problem at all. Oh yeah, you just have to, I'm gonna have to be on the gas to do them drop ins for sure. Let's go up this one here. All right, let's try to get fancy. We're gonna drop in here, go over this, up this other one, and hopefully, oh yeah, that was awesome, y'all. You got to give me credit for that right there. Let's see if I can bring it back to me. No problem at all. That was awesome. And we've actually just had our first casualty. Check that out, y'all. It must have landed right on those lights. I was actually, you know, I was contemplating removing these lights for that exact reason. No kidding at all. So I'll have to do something about that now. Maybe just take it off. Let's see if we can repeat that little combo trick though. Over this one. Over this. Oh yeah, no, I got a little out of control there. That's awesome though. That's actually awesome. All right, let's see if we can do a few passes on this half pipe before this rain gets too crazy. I mean, it's getting crazy out here now. The rain is coming on down, so I'm about to get slippery. Oh, you really have to be on the gas on this half pipe, but it's pretty nice though. It lands nicely if you get up on top and you're on the gas. Let's see if I can turn it around without coming back. Yeah, it's slippery down there on that metal. Let's see, let's back her on up. Get it back on. I can probably get it on the other side. Oh yeah. Yeah, this thing's fun right here, y'all. I can't wait to get out here when it's not quite as gloomy, and even with something faster, that'll be awesome. I mean, because this is cool right here. I could definitely, if I had something with a little bit more throttle response, then I could get up and make some good passes on these upper walls like this. But yeah, this thing don't have quite enough throttle response. All right, y'all, let's see if we can get this backflip done on this big wall here. Oh, I backflipped onto my GoPro. All right, that was a mega fail. Let's try that again. No, I just don't think it's got enough speed. All right, I think I got it this time. Oh, did I land it? Yeah, I landed it. That was crooked. Let's get a straighter one. All right, one more try here. Yeah, see, it's just, I don't think I'm going far enough, and I think it's too steep to go far enough and not steep enough, I guess, or I just don't have enough throttle power to make that thing. See, I can flatten it out, but I'm just haven't cleared the whole platform, so it's not doing me any good. This thing wheelie's good though. As you can see, it'll ride it pretty good. Now, if I can jump off to the side like that, I can clear the ramp. All right, y'all, I think I'm gonna call it right there for this one. A whole lot of fun out here at this skate park. Now I can't wait to get some of the faster stuff out here that I've got coming and start trying to clear some of these fences, big old jumps and stuff. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and we're gonna really put some stuff to the test out here. But as far as this MT12 Plus, it did pretty good out here today. The only thing broken is that top, that roll bar there, which is not a big deal, just plastic. I do have some scuffs there on the front bumper. Got a little bit of a scuff on the bottom of that diff cover, which it's whatever, it's on the bottom, but other than that, nothing. I mean, it's completely intact, completely running, no kind of mechanical problem, so I'd say that's a pass. I mean, I didn't bash it hard again, but it just don't have the real high speed to do real high flying anyway. But I might actually look into doing something about that, because this truck's a lot of fun, y'all. So far, this might be my favorite, just all around grab it and go have a little bit of fun truck. I mean, it's really, it handles nicely. It's got enough speed, but not really, now that I see what I need out here. So let me know down in the comments. It's got this Reedy Sport 400 power. If somebody's got a couple of options that I can just kind of almost drop right in. Now, obviously, I'd probably have to change, you know, some of the electronics, maybe not. Let me know down in the comments if you got any ideas. But I'm gonna wrap it up right there. I'll leave some links down below for this aluminum kit. It's not an affiliate link, it's an eBay link, but I'll leave it down below. That's a super good deal on this stuff, and from what I can tell, it's well worth it and holds up plenty fine. But if y'all do enjoy my videos, take a second if you would and reach down and hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and cut those notifications on so maybe you'll get notified when I upload new stuff. Big thanks to all of y'all so far for supporting this new channel like y'all do. Don't forget, I've got that giveaway going. It ends Saturday night, so make sure if you want to have a chance to win that, get entered into that. And in the meantime, y'all keep on having fun.